This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.
Well, the Cardinals have one of the best running backs in football in James Conner, but he did miss 4 games a year ago, so the Cardinals needed to add depth to the running back room in the offseason. So they drafted Trey Benson out of Florida State University, and this guy can absolutely fly. What do you hear his answer here in the Extra Point podcast about being disappointed with a 4.39 40 time at the Combine? He's a guy that likes to have a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun with his teammates when he stopped by the studio for a hot dog and hamburger eating contest on the news. And Trey Benson, our guest on the Extra Point podcast. Just getting to know you. This is our podcast. I hope you like our graphic there. Looks like an old video game.
This is a nice setup. This is a nice little setup.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of fun in here. It's a little more, the lights in the studio and the teleprompters. This is just kind of like a fun chance to chat. And I mean, just joining this team and just kind of reading up and just seeing your story. It's been kind of an incredible one. Yeah. Going to Oregon. And if I'd have told you after the injury in Oregon, you'd be sitting here talking to me, what would you have told me?
I don't know. I don't think I would have believed it. It's crazy. I knew, the time gonna come like this, but I just didn't know when. I ain't know the matter of time because I was injured at Oregon my freshman year, and it took a lot to get to this point.
Yeah, and when the injury happened, you can come back from injuries now, but how much did that make you sort of appreciate your abilities? And do you take extra care of your body now if knowing what you had to go through to get back?
Yeah, when I first got to Oregon, right? So once we got treatment after practice, I used to think it was punishment because that's killing my time to go home and take a nap and stuff. But I realized it was very important. The injury was a blessing in disguise because it made me more stronger mentally and physically. So I'm glad the injury happened. I don't know how that may sound, but I'm glad the injury happened because it made me who I am today.
So how does that work when you get the ball and you see just a little bit of daylight and the end zone sitting there?
It's the best feeling in the world, seeing that little bit of daylight. Cause you don't got to think much then. It's right there. So just hit it and don't look back. Hit your head on the goalpost.
Hit your head on the goalpost. Is that how you got? So tell us the story. They were calling you what?
Forest Gump.
Really? So do you like the movie? Have you seen the movie?
I've seen the movie plenty of times.
Yeah.
When I was younger, me and my family, I used to watch it all the time. All the time.
And so, that's something that very few people get to experience, breaking one into the clear. What is it? We've got some video of it. What is it like when you bust one and know there's about to be 70,000 people here losing their minds?
It's crazy because when I bust one, everything's just zoning out for a little bit. And it don't zone back in until I cross the end zone because that's when I just lock in and I just focus on do not get caught. I even look at the jumbotron, make sure nobody behind me. So it's crazy though. But like I said, it's the best feeling in the world because when I get that crease, I'm like in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, it's over. I got it.
Is it an art looking at the jumbotron? Like, do you have to train your head to go up like that? How do you have to, like in the pregame warmups? Are you looking at the different jumbotrons?
Sometimes.
To know where to look?
Yeah. Once I look at it, it just make me appreciate the game, or it just feels surreal when I'm looking at the jumbotron because I'm like, that's me right there on the jumbotron. That is crazy. Because I used to be at college games when I was in high school looking at other people on jumbotron, and just me being in that position now is crazy.
Were you always the fastest? Were you always the running back coming up? If I'd have told you when you were 8 years old you'd be in the NFL, what would you have told me?
I don't know. I don't know. That was all. It wasn't always my dream at first. Honestly, I liked baseball more than
Really?
Football when I was growing up. I just grew up playing baseball a little bit more. But one of my friends, he was playing football, and I wanted, go try it out. So my mom took me to the little practice that they had, and they gave me the ball, and I just outran everyone. And so that's when I became, I started to perfect my craft at it, work on it in those past couple of years, and I got good at it, and then I started to love it.
Do you still like baseball? Could you still, if we were to, get you in a uniform down at Chase Field right now, could you catch up to 94 miles an hour?
I might be a little rusty, but, up and coming. It'll take a couple weeks probably a couple days, really. But I'll be a little rusty for sure.
Well, I think you made the right decision at the Combine. What was it, 4.39? Is that right? Were you happy with that time?
No.
That's crazy.
I was not happy with that time. My goal was a 4.39 at first, but my goal was a 4.3. Anything 4.3 at first, but once I got into training and I was seeing the times that I was clocking during training, I'm like, 4.3, that's easy. Like, I know I could get, like, lower than that. I wanted to get to like a 4.31 or 4.29. Like that was my goal. That's what I was kind of clocking, during training and stuff on the lasers. But 4.39, that was probably one of my worst times that I had. I ran it when I was 16 years old at the Nike Open. I was ran a 4.48 but I ain't had no technique, and that was just me getting up and running. But me having the technique now, it took some off. But I feel like I can. 4.29 was my worst time.
Wow.
I feel like I can get a 4.2.
Wow. What's the difference between running fast with the lasers but carrying a football and people chasing you? How does the running?
That is different. Yeah. Way different. That is way different. I feel like I pick up the speed, out the 40 yards, that's when I get faster. That's what I feel like. So the first 40 yards, that's me just kind of warming up to it. But as we get to the 45 to 50, the 55, or that's when it starts to click for real.
Yeah.
And it shows on film.
Oh, it does. Yeah, we've got it. What was it? We've got about 5 house calls on film. Those are fun to watch.
Yeah, I know one of my clock 23 miles per hour.
Did you really? Do you have a goal of how high you'd like to run? What speed you'd like to run?
No, I just run.
What was Usain Bolt? Do we know?
I don't know, 20. I don't know.
Can you catch him?
Not on his level, though.
But could he do it while people are chasing him and he's carrying a football? That's the biggest question.
Yeah, that's the biggest part about it. I don't know.
Well, so tell me about growing up. What was it like growing up in Mississippi and playing sports, and why the decision to go to Oregon initially?
Growing up in Mississippi, it's hard to make it out of Mississippi because that we don't have many mentors. We don't have that many people to look up to. We didn't have the cone drills, the running back drills and stuff. So drills was kind of new for me when I got to college.
Yeah.
So seeing the drills and stuff, it was new to me because we didn't do that, and we just was off natural talent in Mississippi because that's all we had. We didn't really have no coaching and no training. We didn't have that many people there to help us out. We just was always, it was just raw talent. That's what I call it. But, growing up in Mississippi, it was great. Great people, great food, and my family was great, and they was very supportive. Just me making it out of Mississippi, I'm representing for them right now in this exact moment. So it was pretty cool. And when I wanted to leave Mississippi because no one ever, left Mississippi. And the guys that did get the chance to leave Mississippi, they either went to Ole Miss or Mississippi State. But I wanted to be different, to be brave, and go 36 hours away from home.
Wow. What was that like first time you got there?
Yeah,
like going to the moon?
It was crazy. I'd never been to the West Coast. I'd never been out of Mississippi. That was my first time ever leaving Mississippi, was going to Oregon. And I enjoyed it. I met a lot of people, and I met good friends. And I'm actually on the team with Ron McKinley. He went to Oregon with me, and he on the team with the Cardinals right now. So I enjoyed Oregon for sure. But then it was different, though.
Then you went back home, and Mike Norvell's still a name around here. He was the Arizona State offensive coordinator. Tell us about going back there, but also how close were you to actually going to Arizona State at one point?
I was close to going to Arizona State,
really?
too.
Really?
I love the coach. I love the coaching staff. I never got to visit there, though, but I love what they had going there. So that's when Jaden Daniels was there, too, I think.
Yeah.
So, I love that. I was real close to going there, too.
Team would have been loaded. Oh, gosh, that
I was
hurts.
real close to going there.
That really hurts. But you go to Florida State, and what was it like for Coach Norvell to bring you in and to get so close to – what was that like last year, knowing that you guys should have been in there?
Yeah, it was hard. It was sad and hard, but I had my teammates to lift me up, and we just lifted each other up and kept each other calm because we had a lot of mad people. I'm talking about the whole entire state of Florida was mad. The governor was mad. So it was crazy, but it made us way closer than we was. We already close, but that made us closer, and we bonded right after that. When we found out we didn't make it, we still had a lot of team bonds, and I'm excited for the guys at the next level. But they'll get it again this year.
But you think they will? You think Florida?
I think they will.
So we've got a playoff game out here. What would it mean to have your Seminoles out here playing in the playoff?
I will be there at the game. if I'm available, I will be there.
So how much does getting that close, not qualifying for the the national football playoffs, the college football playoffs, how much does that drive you in chasing a championship here at the pro level, knowing you could be so close but not quite get there and feeling that pain?
I just know something good is gonna come out of that. That we didn't make it this time, so I just know I got a feeling that we're gonna make it. I'm gonna make it some way this way. In the league. So Super Bowl, it'll be great. It'll actually be great. And if it's this year, next year, or whenever it is in my career, I feel like it's coming though.
Yeah, and you have a lot of guys in your running back room. I know you've bonded with Michael Carter there, but how as a rookie do you kind of blend in that room, but also stand out?
When I first got in the room, it was I love those guys already. They're like big brothers to me, and we just come in and laugh every single day. It was just it's exactly like the running back room we had at Florida State. But the size that I have, or me and James kind of had that size, but we both had the speed too as well. But me, I'm a jokester, I'm goofy all the time, and I don't want to step on no one's toes. I'm just trying to be a sponge, learn what I got to do.
and just being in the NFL? Have you had that like welcome to the NFL? Like what has the last 3 months of your life been like since hearing your name called on draft day?
It's been surreal, you know, just learning my teammates and learning how the NFL works, and just every time I look at the logo, it's just different. Like, I just shake my head every day. I'm like, I'm really in the NFL. Like, I say that to myself probably every 5 minutes. That's crazy. So I really be enjoying the moment. Me, right now, I'm just enjoying the moment, really.
That's fantastic. Hey, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.